All right, and we are live. Hello, and welcome to the House of Mystery. Today I have three guests: Popefire,
Hi.
Geeky, also known as Piper's Bizarre Adventure on Twitter,
This is Piper. Hi.
and I'm sure everybody here knows Feisty fan.
Hello.
Now, I invited all these women on because I've noticed a discrepancy between what companies promote to female audiences, and what female audiences actually like. So today, that's what I want to discuss. And one thing I've been noticing is that certain comics that have been marketed as female centric or female empowering, um, I know that some women don't actually like those. Feisty, I know that you work at a comic shop. Tell me, what do women actually buy when it comes to comics?
Well, a lot of the time people mostly buy what they want. There's more men that get Miss Marvel than there are women, like, Kamala Khan. They're it's fun. A older gentleman is the only person I sell Unbeatable Squirrel Girl to. There are a couple like kids that like get Squirrel Girl and Ghost Spider and stuff, but yeah, I mean, we have a pretty wider female subscription base, I suppose, but they all like the Nightwing, they all like the Wolverine, and
Right?
yeah, so it's like, we're fans of what everyone else is fans of because it's good. It's, what I like. It's not so much that it has to be marketed to us, but it's got to be good for us to enjoy it, and everyone's got their different tastes. So it's not about like, I'm a huge Wolverine fan, but you two ladies might not like Wolverine. It's just whoever. It's about taste more than anything.
Well, because I used to volunteer at a comic book shop, so my data may be a little old because it was a few years. But the thing I noticed was it was mostly older women that were, because I was about 20, 21 at the time. So it was usually women that were either 27 to sometimes even 50 that would come in and buy comic books. I didn't really see a lot of women my age buying comics. And when they did, they weren't picking up the SJW books, they were picking up stuff like Nightwing. They were picking up stuff like Red Hood and the Outlaws with Starfire in it. It's almost like women like sexy characters too. And to sort of point out something that I've noticed, and from what I like, if you really want to appeal towards women, you need to also provide a little bit of relationships in there, and not just like friendly relationships, like the girl ones where everybody's always happy and they always have each other's backs. Like, women like relationships, whether it be friendships or romantically, and that seems to be something that's lacking in comic books right now. Because it definitely, huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it definitely feels like they don't want any relationships in either Marvel or DC, and it definitely feels like friendships aren't really natural at either of them, especially on the Marvel side, where they make it look like every female friendship is absolutely perfect, and they'll be from being like these total badass women to being like, OMG, we're together, we're no, it's stupid.
Yeah, it seems what I've seen is that in some comics, a lot of the times when there are two women who are just friends, eventually it'll lead to them just hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, what I got all excited and squeed and stuff because I was just talking to a friend who, like, a customer turned friend who I like to refer to as a friendstomer. And we were like talking about this actually like maybe 2 hours ago. I gave her a ride home, blah blah blah. Anyway, we were talking about that. They like, why can't we just let the people that like are in a relationship? Why can't they just be happy? Like, that would be interesting to read. Like,
because
seeing
comic writers aren't in healthy relationships. They're either not in a relationship or they are really in a manipulated relationship. I mean, one of the prominent female writers that comes to mind that got in through relationships was Devin Grayson. And we all know how Mark Waid was. and I hate Devin Grayson.
Yeah, I heard
I
that those
hate her
two
so
were
much.
involved, but I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure about what happened with the relationship, though.
She got in writing gay fan fiction, and she got in because they thought she was cute. From what I've been told from some of the pros I know.
So, one of the books that is quite clearly marketed towards females is the book "Female Furies" by Cecile Castellucci, and I've read the book. I didn't like it personally because a lot of it just seemed ridiculous for the setting on the characters that they were using. But if I don't know if any of you have read it, but if you have, what do you guys think?
I'll go first. I'll be honest, like I read the first issue because I always read every #1 because reasons. I have to kind of know what's in the book to sell it. But this is another like issue where more males order this book than female. I think maybe 2 females read the book out of the like 9 that I order. So it's not even that big of a book. So it's like, but more men read it because they're like, what is oh gosh, Big Barda, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're fans of her. So it's like that, that's who buys the book. Like
Well,
at least that's what I see. But I read the first issue and I was like, meh. But again, I'm not going to sit there and tell a customer that, oh my God, this is awful, you shouldn't buy it. I'll just like compare it to something that I've read that's similar and like say, oh, if you enjoyed this and this, you'll probably enjoy this, but this is just not for like, it's not something I would usually read. I read so I could answer your question. So there, you know what I mean? Like, but that's, I can't be judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to selling comic books.
Yeah, because the entire thing is to get people to buy them. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. I have to be as unbiased as possible.
Well, statistically, women are going to be a minority in comic book shops. I mean, it is a guy's hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's also really the marketing that they're trying to do for women isn't working, and it's not appealing to women. In fact, it's actually driving more women away from these books.
That's what I
But
think too.
yeah, I mean, it's driving. They want a very specific type of woman, from my understanding, because a lot of the other comic readers I know that also happen to be female are like, yeah, I'm not really interested in comic books right now. I dropped comic books at New 52. I dropped it
Yes.
on the
Mhm.
New 52 was the start of it. That's where I think a lot of people were like, okay, we're done. But from my understanding, women like relationships and they also like sexy males. I mean, Aquaman had a huge female viewership during his movie, and then Nightwing also has a really big female following. Starfire, I always have to mention Starfire. She has an above average female following as well, and she's usually criticized for being sexist. So
I
it's
don't understand why. I mean, she's very powerful, very competent.
It's her costume. It's all because she's beautiful and she wears a revealing costume. That's all it boils down to. It has nothing to do with, because a lot of these people don't know anything about her character other than they watched the cartoon or they read the wiki page. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous though, because you have a very small portion of women that aren't really even buying comic books, dictating what the actual female comic book readership likes.
Yeah.
And this is something, because I've noticed a whole bunch of people complain about this, that apparently men are just absolutely animals in comic book shops. And I've been going into comic book shops since I was 8, and I have only had one bad experience with somebody. And it was actually somebody on the other side, not somebody that it's just ridiculous, because I don't really see the whole like, oh, men are animals when you go in comic book shops, and because they're not. They're a lot of the times they're just happy that women are reading comic books.
Yeah.
We have
I'm sure.
a couple of those, like side
The ones that
eye
test
dudes.
you?
Yeah, I'm like, ugh, eye roll, so I don't go, Well,
I usually have that happen about my age, because I'm a lot younger than a lot of the other people, so they usually just judge me on my age.
yeah, that's how it was at this one shop when I was younger too. It's like, I was a freshman in high school buying, what was going on. I think it was the one that I think it was La Roca before he got terrible. Yeah, I had to drop Uncanny X-Men because I hate his art that much. I'm just like,
Is he the one that draws boobs like eggs?
Yes. Egg boobs.
I
guy,
hate those.
yeah.
Like that just pisses me off. Like women can have more than one size of breast.
Oh,
you want
gosh.
to talk about different types of female bodies. Not all women have A cups.
What about the boob sock that J. Scott Campbell always draws? Like it's, yeah, like it, but the way he draws shirts, it's like the outlet, it's like a boob sock, you know what I mean? It's like it defies gravity. I don't know. Anyway, but what was I saying? I don't know.
Experiences in comic shops.
Oh yeah. But yeah, there are some of those men that are like like that are test your knowledge. But I get that at the same time, I get they test my knowledge by me being behind the counter. And it's really adorable when you can start dropping like artist names and inkers name, and they're just like kind of like you're like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I actually like the artwork. So I learn who does the art. So that way when I go to conventions, I can seek out these artists and get like original artwork from them. So that's my story.
Well, I've had that done to me. People test my knowledge about certain things. I don't think it's really a sex thing. I think it's more just a nerd culture thing. People want to see if you're as passionate about what they love as they are.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's just for men, and I'm not a man, so I can't confirm this, but a lot of men get really excited, and not sexually excited. I gotta correct that, but they get excited because this is not something that women are normally into. Despite what Marvel has been trying to push, that 50% of readers. No, that's not true. I wouldn't even say it's 20%. I honestly would say it's a very low percentage, maybe 16 at most. 16%. There's a high chance 16% is probably the honest number.
That's push it. Yeah, like 16%.
Yeah, that's pushing it.
Yeah, that's even might be pushing it a little, but I'll give you that. I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, but no, it's perfectly fine. But I do think that men, it's definitely not from sexism, because if men were sexist, they wouldn't want women in the hobby at all. So it seems a little weird to call people sexist for just being so excited to see the opposite gender in a hobby that's usually not for them, which is kind of funny, because I think if women read some of the older books, like New Teen Titans is one of my favorite books. I think if some women read that one, they'd definitely be into comics more. But I think comics also sabotages itself with female readers. I think they do. I think they do it on purpose.
And also, like, back to the relationship thing, I dropped Inhumans when they took Black Bolt and Medusa apart. I was like, that
makes me so mad. Like, okay, there's a reason why manga does so well, like, with women, because of the shipping thing. Women, I'm not, like, a huge shipper. I think shippings can kind of ruin, like, culture fandoms and stuff, but women love shipping. So why on earth would you constantly make every relationship depressing and everything is they always have to break up? They can never just be happy. And yes, there's going to be some drama in some of the relationships, but they don't all have to be so depressing and have it to where like they cheat on each other. Yeah, or traumatic. Exactly. You can make a healthy relationship. I mean, actual couples that have stayed together, what, Big Barda and Mr. Miracle? Because even Black Canary and Green Arrow have split up.
No, I think they're still together in the current.
Yeah, currently, but there's been a lot of times where even the TV show split them up, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, in the New 52, I know that they weren't together.
I'd say close to 15.37%. That's funny.
Repeating.
But no, sorry. I was reading some of the comments.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you've all seen the Batwoman trailer for the new show on CW, but it's heavily focused on female empowerment, LGBTQ empowerment, because Batwoman as a character is a lesbian. Have you guys seen the trailer? And if so, what do you think about it?
I feel like the trailer would be so much more interesting if she was on the phone with Captain Marvel and they were trying to one-up each other for worst feminist of the year.
Wow.
No, but I find it ridiculous though. She takes his name, his gadgets, his suit, his city, everything. I'm not gonna let a man take credit for something I stole.
Right? I was done. Like, I was okay and pretty interested when I heard that it was going to be a thing.
Hmm.
And then that one trailer, I was like, well, I'm done.
Okay, see, like, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum because, okay, so just a little bit of background. I don't want to like tell the depressing story. Going through divorce, exploring my sexuality, and Ruby Rose is sexy as fuck. And
No, she is sexy. I just hate her character. Which
Yeah,
sucks because I love Batwoman.
yeah, that's true. But like, yeah, so I'm like, yeah, anytime I can just see, like, if she didn't talk and just stood there being like all awesome, I would probably be more into it.
Well, I don't know why they
TV
don't.
show, she gotta has to talk.
I know.
Well, they could show, not tell. Like, they could, instead of saying like I'm a badass, they could show her being a badass. She doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with feminist characters in particular. They don't show that they're badasses. They just tell you they're badasses.
Yeah, they need to, like, me and my friends were talking about that too. It's like with the whole superhero and what, like, super heroine, I guess, right? Is that yeah, that would be accurate. If I'm sorry, I'm assuming genders. I don't know if they're super people or whatever it is.
Super persons.
Like, super persons, super people, super persons. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I am I voted for Hillary and Bernie. I am a registered Democrat, but there are some things that I'm just like, really, like, it should just be like straight and then other than straight. So that way it's just like, okay, cool. You're like, not that I'm like, I'm sure it's hard, blah, 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 to get recognized, but at the same time, it's just like, I feel bad because I can't keep up with the terminology, but I digress. Anyway.
I don't think anybody can. It pretty much changes by the day.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't keep up with it. So if I say something that offends you, it's not intentional. I just don't know, and I'm ignorant. So I'm totally fine with owning up to my ignorance. So it is what it is. But I don't mind the Batwoman trailer. I don't mind the show. There was something I was gonna get to, but I forget. Oh, well.
I watched it. When they first introduced the idea of a Batwoman show, I was wanting to give it a shot. Then she showed up in the crossover, the CW Elseworlds crossover, and actually liked the way she was portrayed in that. But then the trailer came out, and I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it. I've watched most of the CW superhero shows. I don't know if I'm going to watch Batwoman.
Have you guys noticed with in particular, the feminist characters, how they all have one character? Like, there's just nothing unique about them. They're all just the same character, just with hair and skin swaps. Or is that just me?
I mean, I've definitely noticed similarities in personalities.
Because they're not... Okay, so... Looking back at Wonder Woman, when Wonder Woman was first created, the ideology behind it was women were more powerful than men for the simple fact that they had love and compassion. Looking at female characters now, they're still using the ideology that women are more powerful than men by making the women act, pose, and kind of look like men.
Yeah.
And I find that a bit troublesome. Because you should be... For as much as they tell you to be proud of being a woman, it definitely feels like they're discouraging femininity. Did I say that right? I feel like I didn't say that right.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember what I was getting. My point. Yes. But what about like actual muscular women? Like, what's wrong with women being like, actually showing power, not like noodle arms? Like
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally... I mean, because my favorite character is Starfire. In the 90s, she was all muscled up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a problem with that. It's just when every female character has started to be designed that way, and there's no... Because I don't like it when all the females have the same body type either. I'd prefer them to all be different, because if you're going to argue that all body types are different and unique, you should practice that,
Yeah.
Muscular women can still look like women, but the problem is that they're making a lot of these quote unquote strong women look more like dudes.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue down to the haircut to how they're actually designing the body.
Yeah.
Because women do have smaller figures. That's just how it is, and you can still have muscled women that still have a feminine body. And I don't understand why all of a sudden all female heroes have to have A cups, and they'll have to kind of have wide shoulders, and they don't really have a waist.
It's the upside down triangle, wide shoulders and then like,
Mhm.
like small waists, but then that's it. It's just like it's an upside down triangle and then just like straight. There's no there's no figure, there's
That
no shape.
reminds me
Yeah.
of the new She-Ra design.
I'm pretty sure that was actually
Oh.
just Ben 10 that they
Yeah.
just reused.
Somebody was
I'm
being
like,
lazy, I swear.
hold on.
But it's so frustrating to me though, because I mean Marvel has been improving, not enough to make me want to go back and read these comics or even touch their modern comics, especially not at $5. But it definitely feels like DC has sort of not learned from Marvel's mistakes, especially with Female Furies, because Female Furies has been that one comic book that it just makes me so mad, because I read the original Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle is one of my favorite characters. I've done a history of Mr. Miracle on my channel. I hate what they've done with Granny Goodness, trying to justify her being evil as if women cannot just be evil. Apparently all men are evil, but women have to have a justifiable reason to be evil, and that bothers me. It bothers me a lot, because Granny Goodness has been regarded as one of the most evil characters at DC, and then all of a sudden it's justified to be. I hate Amanda Connors.
The
Yeah, this is what like okay, so like because we're talking about Captain Marvel and the way women look, like if her hair was longer like this actually in the like I don't remember if it's like half shaved or whatever, but
it's like shaved on the side and then a little bit
yeah.
longer on the top.
So I mean, even like okay, so that probably looks like a B or C cup. She's got some shit. You can all see my cursor, right? If you want to share my screen. But I mean, like, what is this? Like,
Well, that the worst part is that's actually one of the better Captain Marvel pictures.
Yeah, that's what's really sad.
But
I just don't understand. Like, I was talking to a customer and we were talking about cover art, and it's like, who would okay this? It's like, just because it's that artist, it's like, oh, whatever they do is fine. It's like, no, you want the best cover for like, I don't order anymore for incentive covers. I'm like, if I'm like 3 off of getting a 1 in 25, I'll order the extra 3. But I'm not gonna like base all my ordering on incentives, because I'm like, I'm not gonna order like more than enough comics that I can move. Like, it's just, that's not how it's, I can't, we can't do that. So, but yeah, this is a shitty cover. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Amanda Connors did the Starfire solo series and crapped all over that book. And I kid you not, a lot of the covers have Starfire looking like a man in drag, and it made me so angry, because this was her first actual solo series, and we didn't like Amanda Connors got to figures all over that book. Didn't even care about the character. She just wanted to stick it to a sexy female character.
That's I find that odd, because she did the art for the Power Girl solo series like a decade ago, and I actually liked that book.
Well, you could tell she didn't want to be put on Starfire, because, as I mentioned before, Starfire's considered a sexist character for a lot of these feminist types, even though they've tried desperately to use her in arguments. Like, it's really weird. But she's actually.
As far as, costume goes, the Starfire is an alien that grew up on an alien planet, so she wouldn't have normal human sensibilities about things like clothing.
Well, you can't expect these type of women that don't read comics to actually go back and read up on the lore of a character. You can't expect that out of these people. The only thing that they're really good at is outrage culture, and they do that so very well.
Okay, so.
Uh-oh.
He's cutting out.
You there, Mr. E?
Yes, I'm here. I was just muted because my father came in the door. So Feisty, you mentioned that women are uh, like characters like Nightwing, like Captain America. I know that Marani is a big fan of Iron Man. Um, I believe it was Nerd Wonder who said that women like some women like male characters because they are extremely muscular guys in tight-fitting costumes. Is that would you define that to be accurate?
No, I think people like I don't think the look like maybe the attractiveness or the like, I don't know, because like I said, it has to do with taste. No two people have the same taste, and it's just what's appealing to you. Okay, so me being a Wolverine fan and being very passionate about Wolverine, first comic book I ever read, and the fact that this man like has this power where if he gets close to anybody, they grow old, he stays young. So and he heals, and he's got that, like, he's indestructible pretty, it's like, well, you warn people like not to do something, and then you like there's no consequences for his actions. It's just like, how do you handle that, and like how do you deal with that date, like with that, like say, like I'm gonna outlive everybody, what's the point, it's like, where do you find purpose? And that's what I like seeing Logan's journey, is finding his purpose, because what would be the purpose if you're like, okay, I can't die and I'm can't age, or I don't know when I'll start age, you know what I mean? Like, it's seeing that journey and seeing him find his purpose with either different love interests, getting brainwashed, working for, I'm very interested in his story and him finding, he was made for war. He kills, he's really good at it. And there's no consequences because like a SWAT team's going to come in and do what to him? Like, really? Like, he'll just put a cigar in his mouth and be like slicing his claws and be like, come at me, bro. So, yeah.
Dr. Venkaman in the chat says Feisty loves heat claws.
Sure. It doesn't bother me so much anymore. Like, whatever. I don't think I'm not really caught up with some of the stuff. So I'm a little behind on my reading. I gotta get caught up.
Mm-hmm. Now, one character that had a massive redesign is She-Hulk. Before, she was very very tall, very voluptuous, but still muscular. And now they've changed her to look very much like the original Hulk, Bruce Banner. She's like extremely muscular. I think even some art has her depicted with very hairy forearms, and and while before she was um, very intelligent and very confident, now she speaks in like broken Hulk speak.
Do they even give Hulk hairy arms?
I think it depends on the artist.
Yeah, I didn't like the direction they went with that, and we're actually doing a She-Hulk chibi for Comics Titans, and that she has been very difficult to draw because she is still feminine but also muscled, so not something we're used to just yet. Right, I am gonna have to head off. I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope all of you guys have a great night.
It was fun.
Awesome. It was fun.
Thank you for being on. So, have you guys been paying attention to E3 at all? The
No.
video game conference?
A little bit.
Okay, so
you can talk about it though. I'll just kind of fade into the background and let you talk.
no, I just want to show you guys this character design because they announced more details about the Pokemon game, and one of the characters called Nessa, who is a water type gym leader. They showed her in the trailer, and some people were not happy with her design. She is essentially wearing an athletic swimsuit, but some people are saying that she's showing too much skin. So let me just see if I can share the screen. And
Yes, I was just humming the Doug theme song. You're welcome.
Yeah, can you see it?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh,
I can see
yeah.
So, do you
But
guys think there's anything
gotta-
really? I don't see anything bad about this design, but what do you guys think?
There's
It-
nothing
It's
wrong with
athletic
that.
wear.
No, the only thing wrong with that is how is she supposed to do anything with floaties on her feet?
Yeah, there you go. That's distracting. She's got floaties
That
on.
was annoying. I'm like, it's cute, but like if you actually had to get in the water, you know that would suck.
Well, she's wearing
Right.
sandals, so I presume she just takes those off before she gets in the water.
Why
That's
she
true.
need the floaties?
Yeah, but
Part
some
of the
people have,
aesthetic.
some people have done redesigns where they put her in more clothing. Some where she's like almost covered up completely. How do you feel about people getting outraged and like altering people's character designs to suit their
It's
aesthetic taste?
insulting to women to be like, no, you can't even wear a bathing suit. Cover up. Like her swimsuit is sporty and it's got shorts already. Like she's a water type Pokemon trainer. And if you look at any of the water type Pokemon trainers, most of them are wearing some sort of swimwear.
Yeah, I know that Misty in the older Pokemon games wear a bathing suit in her gym.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I ask you guys a question?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, of course you can ask a question.
All right. So, are there any companies you feel that are trying to gain the attention of female audiences and are doing it the way they're supposed to?
Yeah, the ones that aren't changing crap because they think we're babies, because they don't. Like
Zenoscope is still like going strong with their sexy lady. You know, it's like they're like, I know more women that get titles from Zenoscope than men do. It's like, you know, I sell 3 copies of what is it, the current Robin Hood that they do?
Robin Hood Outlaw.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I've actually been reading that. It's very good, and that's one of the reasons why I like Genoscope. It's because their characters are very, very well rounded. The stories are interesting, and they have a good mix between exposition and action.
A funny story.
Yeah.
I used to be involved with their I don't know. Yeah, he's an editor and he's in charge of talent. So yeah.
Ooh.
I know, I'm like, oh, he's doing that now. Well, good for him. So yes.
Piper, are you familiar with Zenoscope?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What of theirs have you read?
I came in. They caught my eye mostly with a. Hold on, I noticed.
Was it a J. Scott Campbell cover?
Riding Hood.
Yes.
Little Red Riding Hood, because not only was there a sexy Red Riding Hood, I actually have a Zenoscope Riding Hood, Red Riding Hood background on my screen right now. And that's why I told people like covers matter, because it was one of those times that I was killing time and just browsing around my favorite comic shop, and I saw the cover. And I was like, oh, that's cool, like super hot Riding Hood. And I was like, and super cool looking wolf dude. Like, and it made me pick it up. And then that made me look for more. So
I've read a lot of the Grimm Fairy Tales main series.
yeah.
And I really do like the character of Selena, because, you know, she is, you know, smart, and she helps people, and her story and background are actually really interesting. And, you know, when I was reading it, I wasn't even really paying attention to the design of the character, and that she's designed very attractively, but I was more compelled by the story, and I think that's what really is supposed to grab people to female characters. If you put them in something that isn't just pandering, but actually has a very compelling narrative, you're gonna get more people interested.
Yeah, like all the chicks were definitely drawn like super duper extra, hot or whatever, but the stories weren't hollow.
Yeah. I've read a couple of the one shots from like Grimm Fairy Tales or other stuff. But they were interesting enough, and that were actually like, I like action and I like some drama, and I do like relationships. Like I like tender moments where Tony is vulnerable in Iron Man. I like when you get to see Wolverine or Logan be vulnerable and have a moment where it's like he shows his humanity. It's like seeing that side and that small bit of humanity and vulnerability in heroes like makes a huge difference. I was talking to another customer the other day. I'm like, yeah, because we were actually having the same conversation. And the gentleman was talking about how all these, like, there's more SJW books. I'm like, yeah, that might be true, but at the same time, it's Immortal Hulk is outselling Batman right now. It's like, and that book is anything but, it's like, it's horror Hulk. Like, that guy don't mess around. And there was a point I was getting to, but I forgot.
I think a lot of people dropped off of Batman after issue number 50. I know that's where I pretty much stopped.
Oh, covers. That's
what
Miran,
you mentioned, right? Covers. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's when I was first, like, when I first went into my first comic shop and bought my first comic, the cover again caught my eye. But it's, like, it was Wolverine, one of the most sought after covers, number, I think, 27, of him, like, flying, like, out with his claws popped, and it's just awesome. But yeah, and look, he looked like a badass. So, like, that's why I got Wolverine, because he looked like a badass.
Piper, which one of your favorite characters?
For Marvel or?
Any, Marvel or DC or indie.
Or indie. Oh, that's hard to pick, man. There's so freaking many.
I have no hesitation.
I'm sitting here like, how much do I like this character and this character? I like Poison Ivy, especially when they really started to do more with her and she wasn't written kind of like a toss away.
How do you feel about Poison Ivy now essentially being paired up with Harley Quinn as being in a relationship?
I think it fits. I think it fits Poison Ivy's personality, although it takes away from, one of the things, kind of like one of her weapons almost. And the fact that, she was always kind of a man Haiti, although it would kind of seem like human Haiti, but the whole seductress type thing.
Yeah, those were the things I liked about Poison Ivy.
Yeah, like using her looks and stuff like that. I liked that. So with her being like officially, like everybody knows it, officially paired up with Harley, you're not really seeing that.
They seem to be also making her try to be more sympathetic to the character. I mean, in one arc of Batman, it was shown that she was actually manipulated during the War of Jokes and Riddles to make her believe that she had killed someone, and even Batman said that she wasn't a villain. Personally, I like it when villains are just unapologetically evil.
Yes. But that's what I liked about Poison Ivy too, when they gave her depth, is almost Mr. Freeze level, but not quite. She's more of an eco-terrorist, so she's in a gray area.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think if she'd be attracted to anybody, it would be Swamp Thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, Mr. Freeze, because Mr. Freeze was one of those, he was a villain, but he wasn't actually out to be evil.
Yeah.
He was just out to do what he wanted to do, like needed to do, or felt he needed to do. But he wasn't technically out to hurt anybody. People just kept getting in his way.
What was I going to say?
So
It doesn't matter. It wasn't important. I forgot. It's cool. Swiss cheese brain. Move on.
So
Right, I
what do
have
you
a lot
guys think
of
about
characters I like.
what do you guys think about characters being replaced with a female version of them to
Oh god.
appeal more to women, like female Thor or
We'll
Oh,
see.
God.
Williams
Okay.
taking
No.
over for
Okay. No. I'm gonna
Iron Man.
defend. I'm gonna sit here and defend female Thor because
Oh god. I mean, do
mean,
it. I mean, do
the
it.
way
Yeah.
Jason Aaron did it, like it worked. The only thing I didn't like was that like they killed her and then brought her back. So it was the fucking point. But then nobody stays dead in comic books anyway. But yeah,
Well, that's well, people usually stay dead from cancer. That's actually a very important thing because the original Captain Marvel, he died from cancer and he's never been brought back.
yeah.
But one thing I don't like about female Thor is that we never figured out why she's worthy. Like,
Well, technically, from some of the stuff she said, she would not have been deemed worthy because she was self-serving. From some of the stuff, I'm a Thor fan, so that's why this pissed me off because they fucked up so many things, and then she doesn't make sense.
yeah, when you think about it, Odin was the one who put the enchantment on Mjolnir, so it would be Odin's definition of what would be worthy. And from what I've seen of Jane Foster's interactions in the comics, Jane Foster would not fit that definition by any measure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I said, once she even got the hammer, she made a bunch of statements that flat out was basically very self-serving, and I don't think that would be considered worthy either.
Okay.
The other thing is why would her name change? Nobody else's name changed when they picked up the hammer, so why would her name change? Like, and Thor's like, well, I guess I better go change my name. Like,
I mean, Eric Masterson, when he became Thor, he actually merged with Thor, so I can understand why
that one,
he would still refer to himself as Thor. But I mean, when Beta Ray Bill picked up the hammer, he didn't become Thor.
When Storm picked it up, she didn't become Thor. She was Storm with a hammer.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Pretty much everybody. Early Thor. When the dudes actually merged with Thor, that was different. But when they're just going, no, they're just worthy of Mjolnir, so they have Thor's power. So why are we changing this chick's name? Like, that makes no sense. It was literally so they could say, we have a Thor title, but Thor is a chick. And it was so heavy-handed and not thought out that I was like, you could have done this so much better with a different character. And without the whole
Sif would have been a different one, a better one.
That was my first thought, and a lot of my friends' first thoughts too was just, what about Sif?
That's actually what I was thinking, that it was going to be either Sif or Valkyrie.
You know, that's what I thought when they first started talking about it, and then they did this, and I was like, what?
And then they revealed that she actually has cancer, which to me, I just think, okay, why not just focus on getting better? Why could you do something that you know is going to kill you?
I don't know. You're talking to the wrong person, man.
And then there's the infamous panel of her punching out the Absorbing Man with one punch, which not even real Thor could do, and saying that's for saying feminist like it's a 4-letter word, which to me was just really cringy. And even worse is that after that, Absorbing Man gets back up, and then his girlfriend Titania knocks him out as, I don't know, some kind of feminist moment with female Thor. I don't really get it. None of the characters act the way that their history would actually show them acting. I just feel like they're being used as a mechanism to tell a specific story, and the writer doesn't care about what the character would actually do in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Captain America stayed Captain America, even though he could, he was worthy. But Storm, I loved when that happened. Storm with the hammer. I thought that was freaking cool, because I was like, of course, like this is gonna be great. I would even ship those two. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Yeah. And she didn't like, I am Thor now. No. She was
No,
like,
she's-
I am Mega Storm at this point. Like,
What did Storm call herself? Was it just Storm, or did she
no, she just called. Wait, no, there was a name for it, and it was it was. Oh my god. Well, no, hold on. The Google machine. Talk amongst yourselves.
I was gonna say, I've been racking my brain since we got to like this part of the conversation because,
Yeah.
they did at least call her something else or title.
So I don't know if you've read War of the Realms, Piper, but recently Jane Foster had a big part in that, and recently Freya, Thor's mother, named Jane Foster the All Mother of Asgard for
Wow.
reasons I will never understand.
Yeah, that's I bailed from Marvel. I think before that, and I started telling people I don't want to hear about her anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty much stopped reading a lot of Marvel books, but there are some characters that you just care about so much that you just keep reading.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll drop them and then come back to check up on them just to see how they're doing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Or if people are wanting to ask me my opinion on a certain topic, I'll be like, well, hold on, I need to go get a synopsis and catch myself up to form an opinion. And so I will get bits and pieces that way too. But for actually buying and reading them, I hopped from various indies and stuff like that at this point.
I hear you. What?
So,
Okay.
did you find Storm's name when she picked up Mjolnir?
No, I don't know where it is. Mother Trucker Jones.
So, another thing that I've noticed is that Marvel has really started pushing Carol Danvers as your kind of flagship character. Really trying to. They've given her like I don't know how many books in like 6 years, like 8, and they keep bringing her back. They're putting her in like everything. They're just really trying to push this character. And I don't think that it's got really caught on. What do you think, Feisty, since you actually worked as a retailer? Has Carol Danvers caught on as a character?
No. Like with the whole reboots, like what having 7 or 8 now, 8 issue ones in less than 7 years. Like, yeah, they're just trying to shove her down our throats. I mean, there are people that legitimately like the character and like I'm not gonna knock them for it, but it's like it's not gonna be as popular as say Venom or Spider-Man or it's like those staple characters. Oh yeah, I remember one of the points I was gonna make with something I talked about earlier, like Captain Marvel. They've turned her into this alcoholic father abused girl. It's like I don't know, there's no good dads in Marvel or anything. Every dad is bad. There's no good fathers that take care of their sons or whatever. That bothers me too. But oh my gosh, now I lost it again. Where was it? It was there. Oh yeah, wait. Dang it.
Oh wow!
This is what I get.
Even Wonder Woman had Mjolnir or was able to hold Mjolnir.
I actually read that. I think I read that they had broken the enchantment on Mjolnir so that she could lift it.
Let's see. It was Marvel versus DC. Trying to skim. And she was versus Storm. She decided to. Wow.
Feisty, could you the dog keeps barking. I don't know if.
Oh, sorry. Let me close my door. 1 sec. Penny, shut up.
Yeah, you're still picking up the dog. But what were you saying, Piper?
Oh, I was trying to see the context for it, but that was neat.
get the writer Gail Simone years ago brought up the idea of fridging, essentially that female side characters are used and often killed off as plot devices for the heroes. Do you think that's a valid position?
No. I think it almost was. The real problem is that oh yeah,
Yes.
Seth summed up what I read about the Wonder Woman thing. She had Mjolnir for a bit, and then when she was versus Storm, she put it down and then lost. But I think the situation that she had originally decided, that originally coined the term, basically. Yeah, I think she had a point there, but
I think that was the origin story for Kyle Rayner, wasn't it?
yeah. I do think she had a point there, but even then, I'm like, but I mean, villains do shitty shit. Like, what better way to get under someone's skin than kill somebody they care about? I mean, and men have been used as the exact same plot device.
Yep.
So while her concept, I was like, yeah, I get it. That is a thing that happens in comics. The problem with it is she decided it only happens to female characters, and she's decided that basically everything is fridging. That, every transgression of a villain against a female character is fridging. And I'm like, no. I think that she just needed to keep that fridging thing up in order to stay relevant.
Yeah, I think she still talks about it today. But why do you guys think that a character like Wonder Woman has become, like a flagship female character for DC, but Captain Marvel continues to fail to catch on?
Because she's not written well.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I mean,
yeah.
I wish there was a more, to it than and something like really, I don't know, involved, or I can expand on it or talk about it more or find evidence where this happened. I'm like, geez, but that's the answer. But Captain Marvel is just the only time she was ever written pretty well was actually this. I liked the Kelly Sue DeConnick run. That's the last time I read a Captain Marvel book.
The last run that I really followed was back when she was still Miss Marvel back in 2006. But yeah, Wonder Woman, I really like that character. I think she's being written by G. Willow Wilson right now, and I mean, it was okay, but it fails to really grab me, the story.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Carol, and honestly, like Civil War II just made me hate her. Like, I don't care what anyone says, changed my mind.
Yeah, that was a very bad story.
She was a freaking psychopath. Like, come on. Like, let's be honest. Like, who was really on her side? Let's be real.
She essentially tried to put in an oppressive regime.
Yeah.
By arresting people before they actually
committed a crime.
And the original Civil War, at least people could have like debates about it. But with Civil War II, like one side was objectively wrong.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anybody really siding with preemptive crime fighting.
Minority Report, man.
I've actually not seen the movie Minority Report.
Yeah. That's what I would equivocate it to. Something
what I've always compared it to. Is it's that's what it is. And I will never. And I didn't like the character to begin with, and since they're trying so hard to make her like Marvel's Wonder Woman, it just makes me hate her even more.
Yeah.
She didn't even consider
that she might be wrong Like even after she ended up getting War Machine killed in
Yeah,
the
and what's really
battle with Thanos.
the way it's written, it's like it wants the audience, the reader, to side with her and that everybody else is wrong, the way she's written. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you should be telling the reader that, wow, something's wrong with this chick. Hopefully somebody gets through to her. No, the way it's written is like we're supposed to be on her side when we're reading it.
You know,
I
she
like
seems to have been
erase
getting a
that
lot
one
of.
from my memory.
She's gotten a lot of authority in the Marvel universe for seemingly being like a B grade superhero. Like she was put in charge of Alpha Flight, and hold on. She was put in charge of Alpha Flight, a Canadian superhero team, despite the fact that she is a member of the United States Air Force. Why an American is in charge of the Canadian superheroes? I really don't understand.
Right? That's awesome.
But she was given her own space station. I mean, even though the Marvel Universe already has Sword to watch out for space, and she was given her own thing called the Carol Corps, which I mean, they seem to just be trying to puff up this character to make them more important than they actually are. And I think just everybody can see that this is not working.
Clearly.
But she did get a movie recently. Have you guys seen the movie?
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel?
Yes.
No.
Disney had so many fake seats filled, I just couldn't get in, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen clips of the movie, and I've heard synopsises, and from what I've heard and read, I'm really glad I did not spend my money on it.
Yeah, same here. A lot of people said, like, this is like, I have gone to every single MCU movie, like on, like, you know, the pre-open on the Thursday, or I've gone it into a premiere. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But this Captain Marvel was the only one I did not see. Like, I have no interest. I'm just like, I don't care. She has never interested me. I'm not interested. So just because it's a Marvel movie doesn't mean I need to go see it. And that's when I put my foot down. No.
They released the extended cut of a certain scene where Carol is reading a map, and a guy comes up to talk to her. I mean, he's kind of hitting on her a little bit, but like, there's no way this guy could actually hurt her. But then she threatens to like break off his hand, and then demands that he give her his motorcycle, and then she steals clothes from a store. Like, the people were actually defending it, like she was like some big hero. Like, no, that is something a villain would do.
Yeah, even Magneto, Magento. Yeah, like, what was it? Someone said, where did I see that lip? Oh yeah. Oz Chris says you can tell Carol was in the wrong because Magneto straight up implies she's acting like the Nazis back in World War II. So it's like, yeah, like even I was thinking that. I'm like, dude, she's a like fascist dictator. This is kind of scary.
Yeah, in one scene from the current Avengers run, I believe it was in the second issue, where she and Tony Stark are talking, and then Tony Stark essentially just makes a bad joke, and then Carol threatens to put him back in a coma again. Like, this character did something very terrible to one of the greatest heroes in the world, and she's completely unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
Clearly, we don't care about Carol Danvers to talk about her. Like, let's move on to a different subject. Like, nobody cares. Bye, Felicia. Feisty just like slashed Carol Danvers out of any conversation. So, or yeah, like we don't care. She's dumb. Like, no.
Have you guys
like we don't care.
Have you guys seen Dark Phoenix?
No.
I have not seen it, and I do not want to.
Yeah.
That's bad for so many reasons.
Yeah.
So many.
Sad.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
bad.
I actually had hopes for this movie. I saw that they were going to actually do the Phoenix Force, unlike what happened in X3: The Last Stand. But you know, apart from that, apart from the actual Phoenix Force itself, apparently they don't take many cues from the Dark Phoenix saga, the book.
Maybe we're taking many cues from the movie that they did right before this.
Right? It was like, that's what I've heard. It's like, well, wow, we've already seen this movie. It was called The Last Stand. X-Men 3, just nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Well, yeah,
And-
that, and they did it again because they decided that these characters was a reboot. Or yeah, and even in this version of X-Men, she already, the last movie that she was in, her version was in, went Dark Phoenix already toward like, at the end of the movie, and then they started this movie where that never happened apparently, but everything else in that movie did. Like,
actually, there's I could explain that part in Age of Apocalypse. It's been shown in comics that whenever the Phoenix Force is near, whoever is chosen as its next host will start displaying aspects of the Phoenix, like having like a fire type aura, having a Phoenix Raptor appear around them, even though the Phoenix Force has not actually come to Earth yet. So I think that's what that is.
I like it when costumes change because they're possessed by something. Like, that's awesome. Anything, like, I don't know.
They didn't do any hint of the classic Phoenix costume, I've heard.
What, in the run that's going on right now, or
no, in the Dark Phoenix movie, there's no hint to the classic Phoenix costume.
Blah.
And what I really don't like is that they only introduced this version of Jean Grey in the last movie. Like, if they had another movie in between to kind of like build up the character and establish it more, I think it could have done better.
Well, I mean, like, with the whole Disney deal, that like kind of held up a lot of things too. And like, are we ever going to see the New Mutants? Like, where's that movie?
I don't think so. I don't think we're getting New Mutants.
No.
I'd like to break into their vault and steal it, and then, like, you know, show it to everybody and be like, ha 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 ha! I win this round, Disney.
I mean, they might eventually put it on their streaming service.
Yeah. What I read about this Dark Phoenix was because of that deal. They stopped giving a shit when making this movie, is basically what they said. They admitted that they were like, we just needed to, money was invested into it, and we needed to finish it and get it out there because
so we can reboot the whole universe anyway.
Yeah.
So
basically. And so they listed off everything that was supposed to be in it that would have made it better, but they cut it all because no more funding was going to be put in the movie. So they were just going to slap it together with what they already had.
Sounds about right. Honestly, that sounds about right.
And I'm actually disappointed that Disney bought Fox, just because I feel like Disney is trying to grasp too much power at this point.
Well, yeah, especially since Disney decided they want their own streaming service. So
because they already own Hulu, I think.
Yeah, they do.
They really just put all their stuff on there instead of people having to pay for another service. But you know, of course, we're gonna be greedy,
right? Essentially, everybody went, "Oh, this streaming thing's not bad," and now they've turned it into cable, where you have to buy multiple streaming services now.
Yeah.
In order to watch your favorite stuff.
I know that they canceled the Netflix shows. Actually, I know that Jessica Jones is getting a season 3, but the rest of them have gotten canceled. Do you think they're going to move them over to the Disney official streaming service?
From what it sounds like, they just flat out canceled. Because I mean, it's still because of the Disney streaming service. But last I was reading, nobody is, told them that they'll make more for the streaming service. They're just not allowed on Netflix anymore. So Netflix had to can them.
That's disappointing because a lot of those shows I actually enjoyed, and a lot of them that weren't great had the potential to be great if they were done better. Like Daredevil was great. I liked seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 was okay, but
Yeah, I really, really wanted Daredevil to keep going places.
Yeah, it was one of their better like Netflix shows, I think.
Yeah. And the
I-
other ones were good. I think the problem is Daredevil came first, and the other ones just they weren't Daredevil.
And no, yeah, like Daredevil set this really high bar, and
Yeah.
everything just kept missing it. I mean, like, granted, like, okay, I'm gonna admit this right now, but Mr. Coulter is smooth as chocolate, and I have no problem looking at that man ever. So I loved Luke Cage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was.
I'm like, I can look at my Coulter all day, so I love
Yeah.
Luke Cage. I'm like, yes, just yes. If you okay, that's
I
how
don't
you
even really care about the plot. Like,
Yeah, no, if you want a female audience, that's how you yeah, a straight female audience, that's what you do. Is you make a beautiful man as your main character.
I watched Luke Cage. I didn't like the first season as much, only because I didn't think that he had anybody that could like physically go toe to toe with him. But I did like season 2 better with the villain Bushmaster.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Bushmaster was probably one of Marvel's like most well-rounded and well like projected like villain. Like he had depth, he had growth, he had substance.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think made the first season a little bit more boring because Luke Cage walks into a building, people fire guns, it doesn't work. He beats the crap out of all of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty much just how it just kept going. But
I mean, when there's stakes is probably when I like a movie or reading a story. Like when there's real stakes, like there's something to lose or something to gain, and like there's always that moral dilemma, and you're always like, you know, in any show that you watch and it goes, oh, to be continued or until next issue, like it, you know, like I like the anticipation. I like stories that capture that.
Yeah.
did anybody else want a Heroes for Hire series with Power Man and Iron Fist? Because I wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best episode. Yes,
Yeah.
I wanted that. I wanted that so badly.
Like then the chemistry they had between the two actors was great.
Yes.
And they the
Yeah.
action that they did where they did the combo move where he activates the Iron Fist and then punches Luke Cage's hand and like sends out a shockwave.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it could,
good.
you know, throughout the season they mentioned Luke Cage constantly having money troubles and needing to earn money. Heroes for Hire would have been a great way for them to solve that issue. And it also would have given us the Power Man Iron Fist team up, which especially would have worked after Iron Fist season 2. Because as much as I enjoyed Iron Fist season 2,
I couldn't even. I could after episode 5. I was just like, you know, when Peter Griffin throws up his hands and just goes done. That was me with that season. I haven't finished it, and I don't care to. I'm just like, nope. When you strip a hero of their powers, nope, not interested.
well, I think that was actually the plot to one of the comics.
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, it's like then you give the power to another person. What's the point?
Yeah, when he gave up the power to Colleen, that really pissed me off because she's done nothing to prove that she actually deserves it. She didn't do any of the training in Kunlun.
Yeah.
She didn't fight in the Sunroom. She didn't face the Undying Dragon. But the next season was teasing Orson Randall because I think at the end scene, Danny actually had Orson's twin pistols that he put the Iron Fist power into. So that was what we were going to get in season 3, but we're never going to get season 3. Really, what I wanted to see from season 3 was the Tournament of Heaven, where all the Heavenly Cities send their champions to fight in the tournament to see who gets to be connected to Earth.
Oh.
I think that would have been great to see. But since Jessica Jones season 3 is coming out, and this is a stream about women and what women actually like, what do you guys think of the Jessica Jones series?
I liked the first season. I thought
First season was good. David Tennant actually managed to give me the creeps. Like,
yeah, I was terrified of him. Like, he was terrifying. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think he did a good job as the Purple Man. I think they really did a great job conveying how terrifying the power of mind control actually would be if it was somebody actually had it.
yeah. Especially if that somebody is batshit crazy.
Yeah. And they showed Jessica having PTSD with like the dreams and the flashes.
That's what I really. That's why I really liked that first season, because she had a personality outside of I'm a bitch, I guess. You know what I mean? Her personality was, I, have PTSD and I'm dealing with it and I'm not handling anything, well. I really loved that. And so I was wondering, well, Tiltgrave's gone. How are they going to do the second season?
There was an episode where there was an episode in season 2 where like she was having visions of him.
Yeah.
And that's gotta be my favorite episode in season 2.
Yeah, but for the most part, it was like they got lazy in season 2, and she was less, somebody. Because even if he's gone, PTSD doesn't go away just because the person that caused it's gone. So, but instead of it didn't play out like that anymore. It went from her personality being influenced by PTSD or the other way around to I'm a bitch, fuck all y'all. Like.
It was weird.
She became a really flat character instantly in the second season, and boring and one note. Like,
so are you guys going to watch season 3?
Yeah,
I probably still will.
I've invested that much time into watching besides
all the other ones,
besides Iron Fist season 2 last like couple episodes. I've invested time, so it's like I kind of want to see. I never finished season 1 of Punisher season 2 because like I gotta be in the right frame of mind to deal with like that much violence. So like don't get me wrong.
I felt about watching Jessica Jones, even the first one.
Yeah.
Was just I loved it because it was bothering me, but it was bothering me. So I had to take it in doses. I couldn't binge it.
Yeah, like I can't binge Punisher, so I just watch a little bit when I can and I'm in the mood. But yeah, I'm gonna watch season 3. Like I like.
Have you seen the trailer?
No, but I don't really care if I haven't or not because it's not gonna like change my mind or I'm still gonna watch it. Like it's not gonna hinder me from I'm gonna watch it. There you go.
I'm at least gonna give it a chance.
Yeah,
because if I'm falling asleep during it, then I might give up. But
I actually saw the trailer on Netflix.
I bet they do. I need to dust off my Netflix subscription because I've been paying them and not using it.
I saw the trailer, and apparently Patsy Walker, after going through the whole drug thing she went through last season, is actually going to be Hellcat this season.
Yay!
Ah, okay.
I'm down.
Apparently, her being Hellcat actually puts her at odds with Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I can see that being like the main focus is, but again, like something to do with I don't know. Oh my god, my brain. Sorry, yesterday was rough. I had a flare up and dehydration, so I ended up in the hospital yesterday morning.
Oh.
So yeah, so I've just got a little bit of brain fog, so I can't really like think of words that whatever. But I'm sure
yeah.
It's called aphasia. I suffer from it like quite a bit, but it's fine. That's not going to kill me. It just makes me sound stupid, and it's fine. Like I have Swiss cheese brain. It's fine. It's cool.
No, I get. Yeah, I actually have a couple of friends
with MS.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's not a fun disease, but I mean.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a blasty blast. I love it. It's so awesome. But yeah, no, I don't know where I was going with that, so continue. Talk about
apparently the
friend
villain
thing. the villains. Yeah, if that puts Hellcat and or Patsy and Jessica at odds, like, you know, what's stronger, their friendship or their morality or their integrity? It's like, you know, even though, but it's still putting a female friendship as a plot tool. So it's kind of like, maybe it might be cringy. I don't know.
I'm hoping
the villain
they
for
do
this
it
season
right.
is actually a stalker of Jessica's.
Sounds about right.
Oh,
And it's a stalker who doesn't think that she actually deserves to be called a hero, and he thinks that she needs to be destroyed, taken down,
Ooh.
and shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually excited for this.
They were setting that up a bit too, I think. A little bit in the season 2.
What did you think of her mother being the main antagonist for season 2?
I hated it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was the lamest, like cheap plot device, and it just like, you know,
it felt gimmicky, like they weren't sure what to do, and it's just and it didn't give her any depth. Like, she was really flat in season 2, and even having her mom there didn't really feel like it gave her any depth.
Yeah, I think she was willing to make so many compromises despite knowing all the terrible things her mother has done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she knows that her mother, you know, really murdered people and is like mentally unbalanced. And because of that combined with her powers, she's extremely dangerous. But she was willing to, you know, try and protect her, even though she hasn't seen her mother for a long time, and she knows that her mother is a danger not only to herself but to like everybody around her. So I think that was really just out of character a bit. Mm-hmm. But even though the character Jessica Jones that they portray in the show is never the best decision maker.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we've been on for like an hour and a half, so I think that's a good place to stop. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this stream, and thank you, Popefire, if you're listening to this as well. Do you guys have anything that you want to share with the audience? Anything that you have coming up that you want to talk about?
Can I shill the channel I'm usually on?
Sure.
Okay. The Graded 0.5 channel kind of covers stuff like this, just not this in depth. We basically talk about pop culture stuff in general, especially comics, and make fun of it. So I'm on there usually weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Eastern. Forgot my own time zone.
I'm gonna have to follow you.
That was Graded 0.5?
Yeah, Graded 0.5. You type it out. I think for the YouTube it's typed out, and on Twitter it's typed out too. So well, I don't even know my own stuff.
Fine. Yeah, I found it. It's Graded 0.5 and it's spelled yeah.
So it's pretty fun.
That's cool.
But for more in-depth stuff, I love crashing other people's things.
I'm like, I want to get back into like something, but with work, there's a lot happening right now with rebranding everything, and we're going to be doing a YouTube channel for the store, and then we're going to be doing a podcast for the store too, which I will be hosting both because they want me as the face of the store. So I have a lot.
People already know you on social media, so
yeah. Good. So it's I can definitely, you know, I don't know who this person is, but watch their channel, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, I'll share. Like, I don't know why they sound like me. I don't know. It's so weird. But I was also thinking of doing something personal too, and like under my real me dealing with the dating world and having a chronic illness. So it's like, you know, what's it like you know, trying to find another human being that's able to cope with this, you know, with a chronic illness after a divorce. You know, it's like daily life or funny stories, or, you know,
Yeah.
and possibly doing other things with MS related. So that's what I was thinking. But we'll see. I have ideas, but we'll see what I actually execute. So
Yeah, and today I put out a video about what's wrong with modern comics, in my opinion, and I talked about heroes. I did a previous video in that series about villains, and the next one that you can look forward to within that series is going to be about creators. So that you guys can look forward to that. Again, thank you, Piper and Feisty, for being on, and thank you everybody listening. And you've all been great. You've all been great guests at the House of Mystery. Have a good night.
Thank you.
all right, thank you.